It started as a normal day. I was sitting at home, casually scrolling through Reddit, killing time, when a message notification popped up. It was from an account I didn't recognize, just a random string of numbers. I opened it, expecting spam or a bot, but what I read sent a chill down my spine. It said, "I can see you." I stared at the screen, confused. I wasn't doing anything weird, just lounging in my room, browsing my feed. My curtains were closed. How could anyone see me? I chuckled nervously, chalking it up to a troll. I replied, "Good one, but I'm not falling for it." A minute later, another message appeared. "I'm serious. You're wearing a black shirt and gray sweatpants. There's a coffee mug on your bedside table." I froze. There was no way they could have known that. I glanced around, heart pounding. My windows were shut. My door locked. No one else was home. My skin prickled with paranoia. Slowly I typed, "Who is this? How do you know that?" They typed back almost instantly. "Look behind you." I couldn't bring myself to turn around. My chest tightened. The room suddenly felt colder. The silence around me was deafening. I wanted to believe this was just some elaborate joke, but a creeping fear had me glued to my chair. With shaky hands, I forced myself to glance over my shoulder. No one. Just the same empty room. Relief washed over me, but before I could exhale, my phone buzzed again. Too slow, the phone slipped out of my hand. This wasn't a prank. It couldn't be. My instincts screamed at me to get out. Grabbing my phone, I bolted downstairs, flinging open the front door and sprinting into the street. My breath was ragged as I frantically scanned my surroundings. Nothing seemed out of place. My neighbors were walking their dogs. A car drove past. Kids played on their bikes. Everything seemed normal, but it didn't feel normal. It felt wrong, like the world had shifted just slightly off its axis. My phone buzzed again. "You think running will help? We're closer than you think." The dread sank in deeper. I wanted to call the police, but what would I even say? Someone is sending creepy messages? It sounded ridiculous. Blocking the account seemed like the only rational option, so I did. I blocked them and deleted the entire thread, trying to shake off the unease. For hours, nothing happened. I wandered aimlessly through the city, staying as far from my house as possible. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, I convinced myself it had been some twisted joke, probably some friend messing with me. Slowly, I started to calm down. I even felt a bit embarrassed for freaking out. With a sigh of relief, I decided it was safe to go home. As I walked back, the streets were empty, save for a few distant cars and the occasional flicker of a streetlight. The quiet felt eerie now, as though something was lurking in the shadows, waiting. When I finally stepped through the front door, a single buzz rang out from my phone. My stomach twisted as I hesitated to look. Another message. "Nice try. We're already inside." My blood ran cold. My first instinct was to run for the door, but as I reached for the handle, it wouldn't budge. No matter how hard I pulled, it stayed locked from the inside. Something impossible unless someone else was in the house. A soft thud echoed from upstairs. I stood frozen, my ears straining to hear more. There it was again. A faint, deliberate footstep. My phone buzzed. "Go ahead, check the bathroom." My breath caught in my throat. I didn't want to look, but I had to. Step by step, I moved toward the staircase. My body felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds, each step heavier than the last. As I reached the top, the air felt thick, oppressive. The hallway stretched before me, but my eyes were locked on the slightly ajar bathroom door. I moved closer, the door creaking as I pushed it open. My reflection stared back at me from the mirror, pale and terrified. The room was empty, nothing out of the ordinary. For a moment, I allowed myself to believe it had all been in my head. But then I noticed it. In the reflection of the mirror, I could see the shower curtain slightly parted. My heart nearly stopped as the shadow of a figure shifted behind it, just barely visible. My phone buzzed again, the message lighting up the screen. "See you soon. Don't forget to follow for more Reddit horror stories."